This video is going to take you through doing the assemblies of your tutorial. So you can see here we've got part A and part B, nice and neat. We've just got two sketches that made the two parts, part A and B. Okay. So if you hold down Shift on your keyboard and move two fingers on your trackpad, you can rotate this round. Okay. Now, when we look at these, hopefully you're able to see that this part here and that part there go together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick part A, I'm going to secondary click on it, and I'm just going to ground that piece in space. So now I can't move that one when I click on it, but this one can still move. So we're going to move this one to join on top of there. Now, if you can't quite see how these are going to go together, what we can do is we can rotate it so you get a better idea. So up here, we've got that move copy option. So if I click on that and then select this part, it's best if you select the middle. But you see, when we click on it, it's asking us to select a body, but this is no longer a body. It's a component. So we need to change that there to component and click on it again. So now you can see that there's these different arrows pointing with different rotations on them. So this one here, I think is that one, is the one we want. We're going to rotate that around 90 degrees and move it across a little bit. And now hopefully you can see, it's not the best angle, that this bit here is going to match up with that bit there. Now there's many different ways that we can do this. Let me just change. I want to join the center of that square there with the center of that square there. So we're going to use the Assemble toolbar and we want to click on Joint. Now, I'm going to capture position because if I hit continue, everything will move back to its original position where they were made. So capture position, and we've got this toolbar now. Now you'll notice that part A has become transparent. That's because the first one you click on is the one that moves. And as this one's locked in space, we can't move it. So I'm going to rotate around a little bit more, and we want the center of that square there. See how that's the center there? You don't want the sides or the corners, okay? We want the center. And you'll see that if you do this quickly without zooming in, you might accidentally click on another part. So we want the center of that square there. I'm going to rotate around so I can see the center of that square there, and just zoom in using the pinch option. You see, the first thing it thought, oh, you want to join it to there. No. We want the center. And you see it moves it in, gives a little animation, and you can click OK. Now this is where the browser becomes quite useful. In fact, I'm going to click on the house here so we can zoom out and see the thing. That is good. Okay. In the browser here, we've got tutorial. We're at version 2 just now. We've got the joint rigid 1. Okay. You might want to name that. You don't have to. I'm going to call that cross-halving 1, okay? Because it's a cross-halving joint there. Doesn't matter, you don't need to name it, but if you had hundreds of different joints, it would be a good idea to name them. Now, we need copies of these two, and for this tutorial, there's a little bit of a cheat that we can do to save us a bit of time, but it also shows you another option you have in Fusion. So if I click on that one there, you see it's selected part A, and then I click on the other one underneath, we've got the two selected. Okay, I'm just going to do Command C, Command V on my keyboard. And you'll see underneath it's made part A 2 and part B 2. Just going to drag them off to the side like so. Now, if I hit OK, it'll move them to there. Could have moved them any direction, it didn't really matter. Those two are an exact copy of that with the same joint, but you'll notice there's still only one joint here. So if I click on part A, it will move separately to part B. Okay? Now, you could do that, but there's another option under Assemble called the As-Built joint. Okay, so what I'm going to do is click on that, and then I'm just going to click on part A there, and then part B there, and those are now joint as they were built. Super important if you're going to do this that you do not move them. Okay, because I could have moved them separately from each other. So you have to move them whilst they're copied and pasted. So if you have moved them, just select that joint, just click on those two there, delete them, do it again. Okay, so now we want to join these two together. So I'm going to go up here to the move copy, make sure it's on components, click on the center of that one, rotate it around 180 degrees, like so, and join parts together again. So I'm going to go to Assemble, Joint, Capture Position. I want the center of that square there to join the center of that square there. See, it looks like it's only brought one in, but watch, when I hit OK, it brings the other one in too. So I'm going to click on the house again, have a little look at that. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. Now we need to bring in the top and the bottom. So your teacher should have shared these with you. You need to go to your teacher's folder and find the file called top and bottom. Second, you click on it, insert into current design. See, we've got these top and bottom added in again. So I'm just going to go and hit save. Should always save regularly. We've got parts here. It's got a chain there. It means it's still linked to the original document. Okay, so now when we're looking at this, we can see this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4 tenons on it, and if you look at the other one, it's only got 2, 1, 2, and the bottom part has only got 2 holes. So this bit here has to be the top, and this bit has to be the bottom. Now, when I first brought them in, I could have rotated them round to get them in the right position, but I'm just going to do it now instead. So we go to move copy up here, click on that part there, make sure it's on components, click in the center, and this piece here we need to rotate around that way, and we need to rotate it around that way, 90 degrees. Now, when we're happy, click OK. Now, before, we needed to check this. So I've got that bit is going to go in here. Good. Okay. Before, we did squares to squares. This time I'm going to do a line to a line. So this top line here will match up exactly with that top line there. So I go up to Assemble, Joint, Capture Position. I want the center of that line there to join with the center of that line there. And then we're okay. It's okay. And we've got to do the last bit, the base. So we're going to move that again. Show some components. Click on there. And rotate that around. And then we've got to joint, capture position from the middle point of there, middle point of there, and okay. Now, the last thing we want to do with your work as well is we want to make sure there's no interferences. So what we're going to do is go up to Inspect, Interference, select everything there. So see, I've just clicked on them all. It says 6 selected, and we want to compute. And it says there's no interferences. If you get a list of interferences, then there's something wrong with the sketches that you've done. We need to edit them.